The air feels heavy today, doesn't it? You wake up, scroll through your phone, and the world bombards you with noise headlines screaming, notifications buzzing, expectations piling up like bricks on your chest. You're running late for work, or maybe you're dreading that meeting where you'll have to smile and nod, pretending you've got it all together. Inside, there's a quiet storm brewing, anger at being misunderstood, anxiety about not measuring up, or maybe just a vague sense that you're not living as you. Who are you, really, beneath the masks you wear for the world? We live in a society that demands we fit into boxes. Be productive, be likable, be normal. But what if the real you doesn't fit? What if the person you're meant to be is buried under layers of shoulds and musts, waiting to be uncovered? This is where Carl Jung steps in, a Swiss psychiatrist who dared to ask, what if the key to understanding ourselves lies not in conforming, but in exploring the hidden depths of our psyche? In this journey, we're diving into Carl Jung's theory of psychological types map to the human soul. Jung believed that each of us is shaped by 4 core ways of experiencing the world: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. These aren't just personality traits. They're the lenses through which we see reality, make decisions, and find meaning. But here's the catch. Most of us are only aware of 1 or 2 of these lenses, leaving the others in the shadows. And those shadows? They hold the secrets to who we truly are. This is a story about discovery, about peeling back the layers of your own mind to find the truth about who you are. It's about the tension of living in a world that demands certainty and the courage it takes to embrace the unknown within yourself. Let's step into Jung's world, where the chaos of your inner life isn't something to fear, but a treasure map to your authentic self. Picture this: a bustling city street filled with people rushing to their next destination. Among them is Sarah, a 30-year-old marketing manager. She's polished, confident, and always has a quick answer in meetings. Her colleagues admire her sharp mind, her ability to analyze data and make decisions without hesitation. But at night, when the world quiets down, Sarah feels a gnawing emptiness. She lies awake, wondering why her achievements feel hollow, why she feels like a stranger in her own life. Sarah is what Jung would call a thinking type, someone whose dominant cognitive function is rational analysis. She processes the world through logic, breaking problems into pieces and solving them with precision. It served her well, her career is thriving, her bank account is healthy. But there's a part of her she's ignored for years, her feeling function, the part that craves connection, emotion, and values-driven decisions. Every time she dismisses her intuition or suppresses her emotions to stay professional, she's pushing a piece of herself into the unconscious. This is the tension Jung saw in all of us. He believed that our psyche is a dynamic system, constantly balancing opposing forces. The 4 cognitive functions, thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition, work in pairs, like dancers in a delicate choreography. Thinking and feeling are judging functions, helping us make decisions. Sensation and intuition are perceiving functions, shaping how we take in information. Each of us has a dominant function, the one we rely on most, but the others are always there, whispering from the shadows. Jung's insight was revolutionary. Our personality isn't fixed. It's a process, a journey toward what he called individuation, the integration of all parts of the psyche, conscious and unconscious, into a whole self. But society doesn't make this easy. We're taught to value certain functions over others. In Sarah's world, thinking is king logic, efficiency, and results are rewarded. Feeling, with its messy emotions and subjective values, is dismissed as weak. Sensation, the grounded awareness of the present moment, is drowned out by the rush of deadlines. And intuition, the spark of imagination and possibility, is buried under the weight of practicality. This creates a crisis. When we over-rely on one function, we become one-sided, like a table with only one leg. Sarah's story is universal. She's not just a character. She's you, me, all of us. We wear masks to survive, but those masks come at a cost. The parts of ourselves we ignore don't disappear. They fester in the unconscious, showing up as anxiety, boredom, or a vague sense that something's missing. Let's step back and explore Jung's framework. In his seminal work, Psychological Types, published in 1921, Jung proposed that human consciousness operates through 4 primary functions, each of which can be introverted, focused inward, or extroverted, focused outward. These functions shape how we perceive the world and make decisions, and they form the building blocks of our personality. 1. Thinking. The lens of logic and analysis. Thinking types seek truth through reason, breaking down problems into objective parts. Extroverted thinkers, like Sarah, excel in organizing systems and making decisions based on external standards. Introverted thinkers, on the other hand, dive deep into their own principles, seeking internal consistency. But thinking, when overemphasized, can make us cold, detached, or dismissive of emotions. 2. Feeling. The lens of values and connection. Feeling types prioritize harmony, empathy, and what aligns with their sense of right and wrong. Extroverted feelers are warm, attuned to the emotions of others, often acting as the glue in social groups. Introverted feelers follow their inner moral compass, sometimes at odds with societal norms. Overdeveloped, feeling can lead to people-pleasing or emotional overwhelm. 3. Sensation. The lens of the here and now. Sensation types are grounded in the physical world, noticing details others miss. Extroverted sensors thrive on action and sensory experiences, from sports to craftsmanship. Introverted sensors cherish tradition and memory, finding comfort in the familiar. But an overfocus on sensation can make us short-sighted, missing the bigger picture. 4. Intuition. The lens of possibility and imagination. Intuitive types see patterns and connections, looking beyond the present to what could be. Extroverted intuitives are visionaries, chasing new ideas and opportunities. Introverted intuitives are dreamers, exploring the depths of their inner world. Over-reliance on intuition can lead to impracticality or disconnection from reality. Jung's genius was in recognizing that no one is just one type. We all have access to all 4 functions, but they exist in a hierarchy. Your dominant function is your strongest lens, the one you naturally lean on. Your auxiliary function supports it, adding balance. The tertiary and inferior functions are less developed, often lurking in the unconscious, where they can cause trouble if ignored. Take Sarah again. Her dominant thinking function makes her a problem solver, but her inferior feeling function shows up in unexpected way-snapping at a colleague. When she's stressed, or feeling inexplicably moved by a song but brushing it off as silly, these moments are clues, Jung would say, that her psyche is crying out for balance. Jung's theory isn't just about categorizing people, it's about what lies beneath. He believed that the unconscious is as real as the conscious mind, filled with instincts, memories, and archetypes, universal patterns of behavior that shape our lives. The functions we neglect become part of our shadow, the hidden side of our personality that we reject or deny. Imagine a man named David, a free-spirited artist who lives for intuition. He's always chasing the next big idea, sketching visions of utopian cities or composing music that captures the cosmos. His friends call him a dreamer, and he wears the label proudly. But David struggles to pay his bills, misses deadlines, and avoids anything that feels boring or practical. His shadow is sensation, the function he dismisses as mundane. It shows up in his cluttered apartment, his forgotten appointments, and the resentment he feels when forced to deal with reality. The shadow isn't evil. Jung insisted it's just the part of us we haven't integrated. But ignoring it can lead to what he called enantiodromia, a sudden swing to the opposite extreme. David, fed up with his chaotic life, might suddenly become obsessed with order, micromanaging every detail and losing his creative spark. This is the psyche's way of demanding balance. Jung's concept of individuation is the antidote. It's not about perfecting one function, but about embracing all of them, even the ones that feel foreign. For Sarah, this might mean taking time to journal her emotions or volunteering for a cause she cares about, letting her feeling function breathe. For David, it could be setting a budget or learning to cook, grounding his intuition in the physical world. Jung's ideas resonate because they echo the structure of the hero's journey, a universal story found in myths across cultures. In this narrative, the hero leaves the comfort of the known world, faces trials in the unknown, and returns transformed, bearing gifts for their community. Individuation is your personal hero's journey, and the dragon you must slay is your own one-sidedness. Let's meet Aisha, a high school teacher who embodies sensation. She's meticulous, always prepared with lesson plans and graded papers. Her students love her reliability, but Aisha feels stuck. She's been teaching the same curriculum for years, and the spark she once felt is gone. Deep down, she dreams of writing a novel, but she dismisses it as unrealistic. Her intuition is calling, but she's afraid to answer. One day, Aisha attends a writing workshop on a whim. She's nervous, surrounded by people who seem more creative than her. But as she writes, something shifts. The words flow, and she feels alive in a way she hasn't in years. This is her call to adventure, the moment her psyche demands growth. Over the next year, Aisha faces trial self-doubt, time constraints, the fear of failure. But she keeps writing, integrating her intuition with her sensation. Her novel isn't finished, but she's changed. She's more open, more curious, and her teaching reflects this new energy. Aisha's story shows that individuation isn't a destination, it's a process. Jung wrote, "The goal is not to overcome one's personal psychology, but to become familiar with it. Every step toward integrating your functions is a victory, a moment of becoming more fully yourself." Why is individuation so hard? Because the world doesn't always want you to be whole. Society rewards specialization, not balance. In a tech-driven economy, thinking and sensation are prized. Coders, engineers, and data analysts are the heroes of the day. Feeling and intuition, with their focus on relationships and imagination, are often sidelined as soft skills or hobbies. This isn't new. Jung saw it in his time, too. He criticized the modern world for its obsession with rationality, which he believed disconnected people from their spiritual and emotional depths. In Memories, Dreams, Reflections, he wrote, "Man is in need of a symbolic life, but we are so caught up in the affairs of the world that we have no time for it. When we prioritize one function over others, we're not just limiting ourselves, we're limiting what it means to be human." Consider the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, a popular adaptation of Jung's theory. While MBTI has introduced millions to personality types, it simplifies Jung's ideas, reducing them to 16 static categories. Jung never intended his types to be boxes. He saw them as starting points for self-discovery. MBTI can be a useful tool, but it risks turning a dynamic process into a label. "I'm an Indi, so I'm not good at emotions," becomes an excuse, not an invitation to grow. So, how do you apply Jung's insights to your life? The first step is awareness. Take a moment to reflect. Which function do you rely on most? Are you like Sarah, leaning on thinking to navigate a logical world? Or like David, lost in the possibilities of intuition? Maybe you're like Aisha, grounded in sensation but yearning for something more. There's no right or wrong function, but noticing your patterns is the beginning of change. Next, experiment with your less developed functions. If you're a thinking type, try activities that engage. Feeling, like volunteering or having a heart-to-heart with a friend. If you're a feeling type, challenge yourself with a logic puzzle or a debate. Sensation types can explore intuition through creative writing or meditation, while intuitive types can ground themselves with cooking or exercise. These don't have to be big changes. Small steps toward balance can shift your perspective. Finally, embrace the discomfort of growth. Individuation isn't easy. It requires facing your shadow, questioning your assumptions, and stepping into the unknown. But as Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. The reward is a life that feels authentic, where you're not just surviving, but thriving as the fullest version of yourself. The world is still noisy, still demanding. But now, you have a map. Jung's 4 personality types, thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition, are more than a theory. They're a guide to understanding the truth about who you are. They remind us that we're not meant to be one-dimensional, that the tension we feel is a sign of our potential to grow. So, the next time you feel that quiet storm, inside anger, anxiety, or the ache of not knowing yourself, listen to it. It's your psyche calling you to adventure, urging you to integrate the parts of yourself you've ignored. The journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because in the end, the truth about who you are isn't found in the masks you wear or the boxes you're put in. It's found in the courage to become whole.